Many NRIs return to India with one natural assumption that once the family moves back, the children will slowly become part of Indian system. They'll have school here, friends, they'll get used to Indian languages, festivals. But if your child was born in the US and holds a US passport, there is one most important point most parents miss. Your child may live in India for next 10-15 years, studying in an Indian school, and still be treated as a foreign citizen at some of the most important financial and legal movements, like college admissions, banking, inheritance, eventually the choice between two citizenship. These movements do not arrive on the day of return. They arrive 10, 15, 20 years later. And the families who are least surprised are the ones who are planned early for this. I am Varad and I help US-based Indians make smarter financial decisions before and after returning to India. In this video, we will cover practical issues, school, college fees, tax, property, documentation, and long-term citizenship. OCI is not Indian citizenship. When the family returns to India, the US child will typically get an OCI card. And OCI is very useful. It allows child to live in India long-term, travel without normal visa, and access many NRI equivalent benefits. But OCI is not Indian citizenship. And this distinction is at the heart of everything that follows. OCI holders cannot vote in India, are generally not eligible for any government jobs, cannot buy agricultural land or farmhouses, and may have restriction in certain public and sensitive areas. For a 5-year-old, none of this matters. For a 17-year-old applying to college or a 22-year-old thinking about career options, it may matter enormously. Let us go through each situation one by one. School. Manageable but plan before you land. For younger children, school admission is usually manageable. Most private schools in India will admit OCI card with proper documentation like US birth certificate, passport, OCI card, previous transcripts, vaccination proof, address proof. The issue tends to appear with grade placement. US and Indian schools follow different calendar year and age cutoff, so a child may not automatically enter the expected grade. School may conduct an assessment, place the child accordingly. In lower classes, this is minor inconvenience. In class 8, 9, 10, it becomes more serious because board selection, subject combinations, exam eligibility start to matter. Timing matters too. Many Indian schools close admissions month in advance. Families returning due to sudden job loss, visa uncertainties, or H-1B delays may find their preferred schools full. Your child can study in India without difficulty, but plan board, grade timing, documents before the move, not after landing. This is the section most parents are not prepared for. Imagine a child born in US, brought back at the age of 2, who then studies in India from nursery to class 12, gives Indian exams, grows up with Indian classmate, has lived in India for over a decade. At college admissions, the system still looks at the passport because the passport says United States. The child may not be treated as Indian citizenship for admission purposes. For engineering, the rules at IIT, NIT, IIIT and centrally funded institutions have changed over time. OCI candidates sometimes fall outside standard reservation categories. In some cases, they must apply through a separate route for foreign nationals or OCI students, such as DASA, Direct Admission for Students Abroad. Under DASA, fees are typically denominated in dollars. For a family still earning in dollars, that is manageable. For a family that returned to India and now earning rupees, this can be a serious financial shock, even though child studied in India for 30 years. Medical admissions carry similar complexity. For NEET, private colleges, deemed universities, and state quota seats, the difference between Indian citizen, OCI, NRI, and foreign national changes both admission route and fees. Rules vary by course, institution, state, and year. Do not wait until class 12 to discover which category applies to child. Start checking around class 8 or 9 because school board, subject choices, and financial planning all depend on the route. Which college route are targeting determines which college path makes sense, and decision needs to be made earlier than most parents expect. If the goal is JEE, NEET, CUET or CLAT, CBSE is generally the better fit. If the goal is US undergrad admission or UK or Singapore An IB or international curriculum may be more appropriate. But international schools in Mumbai, Pune, Delhi, Hyderabad carry significantly higher fees. A child in class 6 may not yet know what they want, but parents should understand which doors each path is opening and which is making more expensive. Because course correcting in class 10 is harder than planning in class 6. A US citizen remains a US person for tax purposes regardless of where they live. This is well understood for adults. What many parents miss is that it applies to the US citizen children too. If the child has Indian bank accounts, fixed deposits, mutual funds, brokerage accounts in their name, US reporting obligations may follow. FBAR thresholds may apply. If the child is too young to file, the responsibility falls on parents. Grandparents gifting money, parents opening savings accounts, mutual funds SIPs started for child's future in India. These are routine financial planning steps. From the US side, they can create foreign account, reporting requirements, and investment classification issues. Indian mutual funds carry additional complexity for US persons due to PFIC rules, US tax treatment for foreign pooled investment vehicles. Take both India and US tax advice before placing significant financial assets in US citizen child's name. The consequences are not immediate, but they compound. Indian system expects Aadhaar, PAN and KYC with every resident child. For an OCI, the path is same but slower and more document heavy. Aadhaar has conditions of residence for foreign national. Until it is available, eKYC, DigiLocker, and some school and banking processes may create friction. Banking KYC will typically require passport, OCI, Indian address proof, FATCA declarations, and parents' documents. One thing parents can control: keep child's name absolutely consistent across all the documents. US birth certificate, US passport, OCI card, school records, PAN, Aadhaar. A mismatched middle name, a different surname spelling, inconsistent initials can become a recurring problem across college applications, banking, and property transfers. OCI holders can generally inherit most types of Indian assets, but they cannot freely acquire agricultural land, plantation property, or farmhouses. This restriction applies to children too. For families with ancestral agriculture land in states like Punjab, Gujarat, Maharashtra, Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, or grandparents buying land in grandkids' name, this is a real constraint. If a US citizen later inherits Indian property and sells it, the transaction can trigger Indian capital gain tax, US tax reporting, FEMA repatriation rule, and foreign asset disclosure. What looks like a straightforward family matter becomes a cross-border planning exercise. Review inheritance, property transfer plans before executing them, not after. A US passport gives child global mobility. In India, it closes some doors. OCI holders cannot appear for UPSC, enter defense or intelligence role, hold constitutional post, work in certain regulated public sector areas. For a child who grows up in India and wants to enter government service, public policy, or the judiciary, the citizenship becomes a real constraint at the point of application, not something that can be resolved quickly. US citizenship and Indian citizenship offer genuinely different set of opportunities. OCI gives residency rights, but it is not a substitute for holding both. At some point, typically around adulthood, the child will have to think about whether to keep US citizenship or consider renouncing it. Keeping it preserves the ability to study, work, and live in the US, gives genuinely valuable global mobility. But it also means lifetime US tax filing and foreign asset reporting obligation, regardless of where child lives. Renouncing is serious and irreversible decision that involves former consular process, possible estate tax implication, and permanent immigration consequences. It should never be done casually, and parents cannot make this decision for a minor child. The right posture for now: do not rush the decision when the child is young. Do not create unnecessarily financial complexity in the child's name in the meantime. Keep documentation clean, understand the education category rules, and as the child gets older, ensure they understand the trade-offs themselves. Before returning to India with a US citizen child, 1. Verify child's US passport and OCI card validity and note expiry and OCI update requirements. 2. Collect school transcripts. birth certificates, vaccination records, academic documents before leaving US. 3. Decide on school board based on likely college route before choosing a school. 4. By class 8 or 9, check whether the child will be treated as an Indian citizen, OCI, foreign national for target course institution. 5. Estimate college fees under correct admissions category, not under the assumption of Indian citizen fee levels. 6. Get India and US tax advice before placing significant financial assets in the child's name. 7. Track FBAR and FATCA obligation if the accounts or assets thresholds are crossed. 8. Review property and inheritance structure, especially if it's an agricultural land. 9. Keep child's name identical across all documents. Passport, OCI, school records, PAN, Aadhaar. 10. As the child approaches adulthood, begin conversation about citizenship decisions, what it means for their future closing. Most returning families plan their own finances carefully. 401k, IRA, NRO, NRE, RNOR status, NRE and NRO accounts, Social Security, Indian tax residency. The child's US citizenship rarely gets attention. It should, because for the child, a return is not just a move to India. It is an education, taxation, documentation, and eventually a citizenship decision. The earlier you understand the implication, the fewer surprises the family will face when it matters the most. That's it for this one today. I am Varad from Return to India with Varad. I help NRIs on the money side of returning back to India. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next.